Good morning from Pangong Tso, one of the highest saltwater lakes in the world, and definitely one of the most surreal places I've ever woken up to. What a night it was! After a stomachful breakfast, it was time to bid goodbye. I folded my hands to the old grandfather and grandmother, their warmth still lingering in my heart. Their hard-working son who made us stay so comfortable, and of course a special thank you to Didi who kept us alive with hot food, endless rounds of water and those unlimited orders from our little party last night. And then it was time. The engines were warming up, helmets strapped, the riders ready. I walked up to my white horse, my machine, my partner for the road ahead. And as I sat on it, I could feel the pulse of the ride already building up. The squad was different today. I didn't have to force anyone, no pep talks needed. Integrity, I must say. The excitement was written all over their faces, eyes sharp, spirits high. We all knew what was waiting for us. Those beautiful roads carved along the mountains, with the shimmering blue of the lake staring back at us from the sides. They say some places don't just exist on the map, they exist in the soul. Pangong Tso is one of them. At first glance, it feels unreal. A sheet of blue so vast that the sky itself seems to have fallen onto the earth. The colors shift with every passing minute, from turquoise to deep cobalt, reflecting moods that no camera can ever truly capture. And yet, what makes it the lake so legendary isn't just the beauty, but the journey every biker undertakes to stand on its shores. The road to Pangong Tso is never easy. Sand trails test your balance, high passes steal your breath, and endless diversions demand your focus. Every kilometer is earned, not given. But that's exactly why riders come here, to measure themselves against the mountains and in return to be gifted with mountains and moments like this. For some, it's a dream checked off the bucket list. For others, it's a reminder that life is bigger than offices, deadlines, and city chaos. Here, the wind is your companion, the mountain your audience, and the lake your mirror. What binds every rider in this moment is a shared understanding that they've touched something eternal. No matter how many photos are clicked or reels are made, the real memory lies in the heartbeat that raced on the way up, the hands that gripped the handlebar through the sand, and the quiet exhale that comes when you finally see Pangong stretch into the horizon. We had barely ridden a few kilometers, and I knew it. I had to stop. No matter how tight our schedule was, no matter how far Chusul was. Because behind me was Pangong Tso in its full morning glory. The water looked like it had taken a palette straight from the sky. Light blue at one end, turquoise in the middle, dark navy where the clouds cast their shadows, and hints of emerald where the sun peeked through. ये लेक नहीं एक पेंटिंग थी जो रोज नहीं बनती है. Our bikes, the Royal Enfields, the KTMs, the Tramp, all lined up, facing the lake like warriors on a break, watching their motherland. We took it all in, quietly, and then slowly, one by one, the engines came back to life. We rode along the banks of Pangong Tso for quite a distance. To one side, the lake shimmering under the half-clouded sky. To the other, the mountain standing tall and guarding the roads. The road was smooth, the rhythm was perfect, and the entire file of motorcycles in sync, flowing like one mechanism. The beauty of this stretch is that you don't talk much, you just feel. The sound of your engine, the wind across your helmet, and the changing hues of the lake besides you. They speak louder than any playlist cloud. And then came the final turn, the one where you lose sight of the lake. You look back just once for that glimpse of the blue, and then you ride on, carrying it in your heart and memory forever. After that, the roads began to spread out, the tracks leading in all directions. One trail towards Chusul and another going somewhere else, one vanishing somewhere into the mountains. And we knew this was the point to regroup. क्योंकि लद्दाख में अगर रास्ते कंफ्यूज कर दे तो ग्रुप यूनाइट होना चाहिए all the time. So we all stopped, checked our bikes and our luggages, confirmed the route to Chusul, and took a breather. This patch ahead, barren, beautiful, unpredictable, was waiting, and we were ready. The road stretched endlessly into the nothingness, cutting right through a desert of gravel and dust. And when the wind blew, the land itself seemed alive, lifting clouds of dust that danced in the air, blurring everything for a moment before settling back again. All around us, mountains rose in layers upon layers, overlapping like painted backdrops. The sun poured down the golden light, setting the ridges on fire, while above, the clouds parted just enough to let the unreal blue sky peek through it. It didn't feel like Earth. It felt like a scene from some movie. And yet, here we are riding through it. The road ahead looked endless, a straight line vanishing into the heart of this barren desert. Everywhere around us, shades of brown stretched till the horizon. Light brown, dark brown, golden dust, all blending with the mountains that overlapped each other like waves. This is not a smooth tarmac highway. This was raw terrain. Gravel crunching beneath the tires, dust rising with every gust of wind. And here's the truth. On such stretches, if you ride slow, your bike wobbles, fighting every stone and rut. But the moment you open the throttle, magic happens. The tires carve their own path through the gravel. The suspensions does its jobs. The bike dances and all you need to do is trust it. So I ducked down a little, letting the wind slide past my helmet. The horizon was far, but my eyes stayed locked onto it. Because in riding, just like life, where you look, that's where you go. The dust storm in the heat, the unforgiving land, everything tried to stop us. But out there, it wasn't just a road. It was a test of rhythm between man, machine, and this barren wilderness. Soon, the road led us to a place of honor, Renzingla War Memorial. Standing tall at 16,000 feet above sea level, built in the memory of brave hearts who laid down their lives in the 1962 India-China War. Here's our squad: Shubham, Shiv Birge, George Fernandez, Neerav and Rucha, Ankush Roy and Pooja Singh, Mayuri Patil, and Subodhan from Goa. Everyone was equally charged up, equally dominating the road with their machines. We parked in a perfect row, right in the lap of the mountains, as if even our Enfields wanted to bow down in respect to the sacred land. Renzingla sits in the middle of the massive brown mountains, a battlefield frozen in time. It was here where Major Shaitan Singh and his 120 strong soldiers of the 13th Command Regiment fought till the last breath, holding their post against thousands of Chinese troops, a battle that still gives you goosebumps. Just a few minutes away, we spotted the India-China meeting point, the Chushul-Moldo border post, where both countries sit across the table to discuss and resolve tensions, from the place of sacrifice to the place of dialogue. It all exists here, side by side, in this harsh yet historic land. As we entered the Renzingla War Memorial, the very first sight froze us in awe. A huge Indian tricolor fluttering with the pride against the deep blue backdrop of the Himalayan sky, alongside the regimental flags of Indian Army, each carrying its own history, its own legacy, danced with the mountain winds. But the most hair-raising moment was when we saw the nameplates. Every single soldier who laid down his life here had his name etched, line after line, plate after plate. Standing there, you don't just read names, you feel the silence, the sacrifice, and the weight of history staring back at you. And right in the middle of the sacred ground stood a white stone pillar, tall, simple, yet majestic. On it, engraved in bold, were the words of remembrance of the 114 brave soldiers of the 13th Command Regiment who fought till the last man, last bullet, last breath, with the mountains guarding it on all sides, the winds echoing through the valley. This memorial wasn't just built of bricks and stone. It was built of blood, bravery, and unbreakable spirit of India. After walking through the museum and watching the short film on the war, our hearts were heavy. With goosebumps and silent respect, we bid goodbye to Renzingla, carrying its stories forever in our hearts. Riding back on the sand was going to be pure fun, but also a test. It was just 12 noon and we had about 50 kilometers to cover before we could touch proper tarmac near Loma. Shiv on his Thunderbird was holding his ground. Sudhir and Subodhan on their KTM adventures were gliding ahead, while Bhushan on his Interceptor 650 was literally dominating the trail. Behind them, Vilas, George on his Tiger 900, Ankush cruised effortlessly, enjoying the rolling dunes. But there's the thing about riding on sand. It's tricky. At slow speeds, your bike feels wobbly, unstable, almost like it's dancing on its own. The trick is to keep an average pace, or higher if you have the experience. Trust me, once you gain that rhythm, the bike straightens out and holds its line. Grip the handlebar firm, let the suspension work for you, and make soft, fluid turns. Don't fight the sand, glide with it. Too harsh and you'll skid, too stiff and you'll sink. It's beautiful, it's agile, and when you get it right, riding on sand feels like floating. Everyone was maintaining the pace, riding together in one perfect flow. The sound of the engines, the dust clouds rising with the wind. It was like a dream sequence. Honestly, this stretch felt like Mongolia. I haven't been there yet, but from the documentaries I've watched, this was the exactly the same vibe. Wide open barren land, endless sky, and just cruising through like nomads on wheels. And maybe that's what made it feel like a dream come true. Because deep down, I know in future this won't look the same. Development is coming fast. You can already see patches of fresh roadwork, rollers pressing down gravel, marking the change. So, in this moment, we just told ourselves, everyone, every second, every wobble, every dust cloud, because these raw rides, they are once in a lifetime. Mayuri on a Thunderbird was giving her absolute best. The way she pushed through the sand, steady throttle, strong grip, you could see the determination on her face. These terrains don't forgive mistakes easily, but she was nailing it. Soon we had a small regroup just to catch our breath, hydrate a little bit, and laugh about how much sand had already gone inside our boots. Every few meters, the road would vanish into diversions. Left, right, straight, and honestly, I loved it. The desert testing us, and that off-roading was pure adrenaline. Every bump, every wobble, every slide, it made you feel alive. But let me tell you, one more thing that's needed to truly stay alive out here is willpower and friends. Sarvesh was right behind me, holding my back in the sand. He and I rode together, keeping an eye on everyone, making sure no one went weak mentally. Out there, it's not just about riding your own bike, it's about supporting each other, pushing together, and carrying the team spirit. This is exactly why I love Ladakh. These barren lands bring out something extraordinary in humans: leadership, compassion, and strength that even when don't realize we have until the mountains demand it. Up ahead came a tricky section, a small detour, and let me tell you, if you miss this one, you might just end up riding straight towards the China border. No jokes. With all eyes sharp, we took the correct turn, and what a surprise waited us. Right ahead was a surreal patch, a road cutting straight through a water body. Imagine riding with glistening reflections on both sides, suspension working hard, mountains towering in the distance. It felt like some secret getaway only riders get to witness. One by one, everyone crossed slowly and safely until we reached a checkpoint. That was the moment of relief. It meant we were bang on the right track. And then it was heaven. From bouncing like popcorn in the sand to suddenly flying smooth like butter on a hot pan. The tarmac appeared, shining, black and perfect, like it was straight out of a MotoGP track. Hats off to the bro and the workers working hard relentlessly to make this road so heavenly. The Border Road Organization, who have been carving roads in Ladakh over half a century. These guys are relentless. The quality of this road, honestly, it can put most city contractors and ministers across India to shame. If they came here, they probably start making excuses about how the mountains are easier than cities, right? Anyway, after the checkpost formalities were done, the usual routines, ID checks, papers, and the one serious looking Jawan who stares at you like you're smuggling a UFO. We were finally set free, and our final destination, Hanle. Our shelter, our punishment, our pleasure for the night. And trust me, Hanle makes you pay in pain and pleasure. But more on that later. The ride itself, oh man, the tarmac didn't end. It just kept going on and on, teasing us, seducing us. It was like riding to heaven, but with speed breakers missing. Thankfully, the road was small, yet full of adventure. Sharp turns awaited at every corner, begging us to lean the bikes, scrape those foot pegs, and feel like racers, except our MotoGP audience was just a herd of yaks staring at us like, who are these weirdos in helmets? From Loma to Hanle, it wasn't a ride, it was a race. Everyone had the grin under the helmets, the kind of grin you get when your favorite songs come on the shuffle mode. We pushed, we leaned, we throttled, and for those few kilometers, Ladakh wasn't Ladakh anymore. It was our personal racetrack. The mountains became the grandstands, the sky a giant stadium roof, and the road was a ticket to heaven. So yeah, if the morning was about survival in the sand, the afternoon was about speed, thrill and joy. That's the magic of Ladakh. One moment you're fighting for balance, the next you're flying like a MotoGP champ. And by the evening, well, you're usually just praying for a soft bed and some Maggi noodles in Hanle. But the ride was a dream. A road stretched endlessly, slicing through a landscape so vast, it felt like Earth had paused for us. The horizon was painted with golden mountains, their shadows dancing with the evening light. To the left, wide barren scapes that looked like Mars. To the right, jagged peaks that seems to pierce the sky. And right in front, a ribbon of tarmac disappearing into infinity. This wasn't just a road, it was a stage. The Loma to Hanle stretch turned into a race, leaning into sharp turns, feeling the bikes gliding. Every throttle was a heartbeat. And just as the sun began its slowly dive behind the mountains, we rolled into Hanle. Perfect timing. The sky was on fire with the shades of orange and purples. And as we get down, helmets off, gloves undone, there it is. That first sip of hot tea, simple yet the greatest luxury after a day like this. Sitting there, watching the mountains fade into the night, we knew this wasn't just a ride, this was a story we'd carry forever.